Welcome all to the third webinar, that is Developing Reading Competencies by Dr. Deepak Damodare, brought to you by the English Language and Literature Explorers Group, Mumbai. Over to you, Avinash sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, friends. Reading makes a complete man, and here with us is the complete man in true sense. He has achieved endless feats in different fields with promising achievements. Today's speaker is an illuminating personality to drive away the darkness of ignorance in the society with his witty and soulful selection of diction, flavored with sober approach. Let me welcome Dr. Deepak Damodare, sir. He has been serving in the community from last 27 years in Rupnath Arts and Commerce Junior College, Dahi Handa district, Akola. He has also a feather of teaching at Degree College for 5 years in his honor. Schooling in various parts of India groomed this dynamic personality that has some reflections of the places like Chennai and Darjeeling. He has accommodated as a student from the hottest to the coolest nature surroundings, which helped him to survive in any adverse conditions in this field. He is truly a master of English language and literature. He has also earned a master's degree in history. His depth in education field began by achieving the master's in education. He is honored with a master's as well as a doctorate in English. Education is his never-ending quest. He holds a bachelor's degree in journalism and mass communication. He has postgraduated himself in business management and Gandhian thoughts. He has obtained Bachelor's of Arts additional in Marathi literature. Can you imagine such a calm and composed personality as a student of criminology? Yes, he holds an LLM degree too. He is one of the rare humans whose education is reflected in their behavior. He is crossing the peaks of success in his career. He is one of the pioneers of bringing constructivism in classroom from class 9 in Maharashtra, when for the first time activity-based course books were prepared by the Maharashtra board. He worked as a board of studies member. When the rights of publishing shifted from the state board to Bal Bharati, this person was approached for his guidance, and he worked as an invitee member for the latest class 10 course books of English, lower level and higher level. He is a present language committee member for the production of the textbooks of standard 11 and 12 Yuvak Bharati English. His 25 research articles are published in the state level, national and international journals and magazines. He has published more than 100 articles in newspapers like The Hindu, The Hitvada, Infinite Thoughts and Shikshan Sankraman. He presented papers in 25 conferences and seminars. He has conducted many workshops for teachers. He has worked as a resource person for the state, division, and district level resource person for the new syllabus, in-service training programs, and activity sheets in production. He runs an English to English project in Akola. He has worked as a correspondent for the Hitvada for 5 years. He is a co-secretary of District English Teachers Association, Akola. He is an editor of the English section of Daut Lekhni magazine Delta Souvenir. He is the district in charge and ambassador of LTI and INET. He is spreading education by being an executive member of Akola Education Society, which runs 1 senior college along with 2 junior colleges and 9 schools. He appreciates Marathi drama and literature to the highest extent. His accomplishments tell us what kind of voracious reader he is. Let us learn how to read from such personality. He is a person who is brought up by letters and words, survives on language and literature, and continues shining by his aesthetic as well as partial preferences. Dr. Deepak Damodare, sir, welcome you. Deepak, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Radhe, sir.
Welcome.
It's a great honor for me to give a presentation for Ellie. I think there is echo sound is going on. Okay. So, yeah, no, it's okay. Actually, the echo sound was going on, so I was a little bit confused. Yeah. So, thank you, Radhe, sir. Ellie has given a very beautiful platform to many English teachers, and also the LA is working for the betterment of teachers. Now betterment comes from reading, writing, speaking, and listening. These skills we all know are very essential. When the topic was given to me that you had to work on developing reading competences, I was a bit surprised, and also I was thinking hard now how to develop this particular topic, how to develop the competences of teachers, of students, of parents, or of myself, whether the organizers want to develop my own competences. These things were actually in my mind. Then I thought that through this platform or through this stage, I can surely interact with many teachers of Maharashtra, even some teachers who are from other states. They will get benefit in the interaction. I will also get benefit. So this process will go on. Recently, I was reading the book of Narayan Murthy. When I was going through the book and I came to the end of the book, my son Saurabh, he came to me and just asked, Baba, have you finished with this book? And I looked at him and I said, physically, yes, but emotionally, never. So this is the impact of books on us. Many a times what happens, the books provides us a lot of thinking material. We study a lot from the books. When we read, we focus on many areas. We want to get many things from it. All these things give a positive impact on us. So if books are handy at your house, then we can call it home. But if books are not there, then it becomes a house. That is also many times seen among our teachers. Very few books are there in their houses. So friends, try to have books at home, read them, share with others. If heavens are if heavens are open for giving us dates, and then we have to keep our mouth open. Without keeping our mouth open, we can't get all these things. Means we can't eat dates and we can't actually learn unless we read different things. Literature is not restricted only to English. Even other literatures are as great as English literature. So we have to have different kinds of taste, and that taste will surely make us a complete personality. One thing I want to share that during the COVID-19 scenario, social distancing is maintained, physical distancing is maintained. But our students and sometimes even teachers are also maintaining a distance with books. This is actually not a good thing. We should try to make books friends. And if you complete a book, that feeling should be there that I have lost a friend. That book is over, and now that friend I have lost. So all these things you should always keep in mind. And recently, I called one of my friends and asked him, "Did you like the book that I loaned you?" Actually, he borrowed that book. So I asked him, "Did you like that book I loaned you?" He was actually baffled. He said, "Which one?" He was just thinking. I said, "Oh, it means that you are still reading." You know, my friends, the next day I got the book back. He returned to me. So this trick I many times use to all those people who borrow books. So you also can use it, but you have to keep in mind that your relation shouldn't suffer from it. Now I will share the screen. Yes. Yes. I was actually my dream was shattered when I read the quote of Edmund Burke. Edmund Burke tells that reading without reflecting is like eating without digesting. So I was really confused that many times we read in the same way or in the same manner. So I was thinking whether it is a need to develop competences of students, whether they have that particular skill in them, or we have to cultivate that skill in them, that habit in them. So these questions were hovering in my mind. I was just thinking what to do and exactly what I can do for them. You also know very well, you two are working hard. You two have left no stone unturned to make your students read. So every teacher feels that there is a dire need to make the students read. They are not actually reading. When we ask students, why do you read? They say, we read only to pass in the examination. We don't read for any other purpose. Only they read WhatsApp messages, Facebook posts, and all these things. Do you know, if literature is small in size, we also enjoy reading it. WhatsApp messages we read many a times. But if the book has 500 pages, 700 pages, 400 pages, or 200 pages, then we feel little bit bored. We drop the book after starting reading for a couple of pages. So it is essential that the book also should attract us. Now, just go through these definitions. The definitions given by Newman, Krashen, Terrell, Alderson. These are the giants in the field of, we can say, education, and also they have worked a lot in the field of reading habits, cultivating reading habits, and also making the teachers really constructive in their approach. So one thing I have marked over there in red, those letters you can easily find the words you can find that comprehension, comprehend, language competence, and comprehension again. Everywhere the comprehension is there. So every thinker or educator, he wants that his uh, students or also the teachers or the readers to comprehend whatever material is provided to him or her. When you read, the first and foremost objective is to comprehend. Then comes the language competency, that is to acquire competence over that particular language, or we can say reading. So it comes later on. In competence, everything is actually the ingredient of all, we can say, the reading skill elements. Just go through this before we start our actual presentation. What is reading? You all know that Thomas Gray has given a very beautiful definition of reading, that the signals, graphic signals that we read, when we read, these are the signals, and we try to decode them. After decoding them, we convert them into letters and then into sentence. So these are the ways, or we can say this is the proper way to convert signals into letters and then words, and with little depth of understanding. In the beginning, actually, it is done. Then later on, what we see or come across, that we start recognizing or understanding what the author has to convey. Then we go towards the deeper meaning. After general meaning, we come towards the deeper meaning, between the lines meaning. So we can understand the author very well. And the last one, that is very important, we try to relate it with our personal experiences and even to our judgments, our ideas, opinions, everything, that we try to relate with it. Whatever we have read, we start visualizing it. So this is actually the meaning of reading, we can say. Why do we read? This question is mostly asked by us to students. Why do we read? And this is the answer. For pleasure, for information, for knowledge, for motivation and inspiration. So all these things are there. Whatever we read for these four things. But when I ask my students, why do you read? They say only to pass in examination. So they have their answer with them, that they do not read for pleasure, for information, knowledge, and all that, but they are getting knowledge indirectly, though they feel that we are reading only for passing the examination, but some motivation they get. The ongoing textbook, that is the earlier one we can say, because the new textbook has already launched. In that, the first lesson, the turning point of my life, there you can easily find that many people, many students, many even teachers have actually brought a change in their life, and this change was only due to that particular lesson. Because the second paragraph in that lesson, it tells what he has done to update and upgrade his profession. He said that I took complex diplomas, I read articles, periodicals, I attended many conferences and meetings, I consulted with many doctors and many experts. So all these things clearly tells that if you want to upgrade and update yourself, these things are very important. And that we get from reading. How do we read is a $1 million question. We have different ways to read. In the left side, you can clearly see that during our childhood days, we used to read in this way, putting our fingers, or the book is very close to the boy. We used to read in that way. But here you can see some pictures over there where different ways of reading are there. You need not to follow them. If you follow them, then it will be a kind of yoga for you. But the fourth picture there, the correct way of reading is given, that you can surely take benefit of that sitting properly, keeping the book in a particular distance, your vision, eye span, everything, peripheral vision, everything should be very clear. So this you should do. Now, these are the things we actually know very well, being teachers. Our students are a bit confused. To make them clear about the meaning of all these things, silent, loud, and model reading mostly we do in the classroom. Silent reading is done by, by ourselves. It's a self kind of activity. There, we do not make any kind of noise. We do not utter a single word. Everything is done silently. The title itself tells. But we understand a lot than the loud reading. Because in loud reading, your concentration is diverted. One, it is diverted towards speaking, and another is towards hearing or listening. While speaking, you listen to yourself, but if you do both the things, you get confused. You may skip some words. So silent reading is the best reading, but it comes after a lot of practice. It doesn't come in a day or two. Loud reading, mostly it is done by the teacher, but model reading, actually we give the credit to the teachers. Model reading is done in an ideal way. His pronunciation, his intonation, giving stress on particular words, ups and downs, tones, everything should be should be done clearly, properly, and students should understand. That is the first and foremost purpose which we have discussed earlier. So model reading should be in that way. What happens then later on, students follow the reading of teachers. What they do, they try to imitate, they try to copy, they try to read. So their reading is many times incorrect, not proper. Why? Because they are not focusing. When the teacher reads, students feel that it is the duty of teacher to read. We don't have to do any kind of loud reading, but we teachers should always try to give some opportunities to students. In large classroom, mostly I have seen that it is difficult for the teachers to handle a large classroom regarding reading. So most of the times, teachers, they do the reading part and tell the students to just take the notes or try to solve the activities. But what teachers should do, they should form groups. If they form 5 to 10 groups, then it will become easy. And in those groups, what will happen? A student who is bright, You can give him responsibility, he will monitor the group, and there that reading will take place. Other students will listen to the reading done by their partners or their group members, and then they will understand that he or she commits mistake over there, and that monitor will point out the mistakes, will write down the mistakes. He won't directly tell, but teacher has to guide him beforehand so that he will also understand, oh, how many times a student has mispronounced a word, or where he has skipped a particular word, or where there is a question he has read not in a proper way. Exclamatory sentences there he has not read in a proper way. So all these things he has to note it down. And sometimes students also they are reluctant to read. So that actually is the problem. Here we'll come towards another ways of reading, that is skimming, scanning, intensive, extensive. I have given the definition, or we can say explanation also. In book exhibition, we run through the lines of particular book. We don't purchase a book. Many times it is said, do not judge a book by its cover. In the same way, when we go to book exhibition or to a bookshop or bookstore, there from the cover we do not purchase a book. We see the title, we read the or find out who is the author, and then we go through the last page or the preface or the introduction. This is very essential. An overview of the book should be actually done by or taken by the teachers or by the student or even by general reader. Then we can understand, oh, this is the way. Scanning mostly regarding dictionary we do, or telephone directory. Actually nowadays telephone directory is not there, but when we have to search a particular word, we directly go towards that. Even for example, notice is there. So what we do, we just see and check on which particular day it's holiday, or what exactly is told to us. In many times the staff notice is given, we just check where is our name and what responsibility is given to us. So that is a kind of scanning. And extensive reading, which is a kind of silent reading, which is done when we read novels, plays, and all that. It's a very deep kind of reading. It takes time for students to reach that particular, we can stage, we can say. And we should read in this particular way. These are some techniques, I can say. In chunks, we should read a group of words or phrase. We should read complete 3 to 4 words at a time. We should try to increase our eye span. So what happens many times, student focuses on a particular word. He go word by word. It becomes difficult for him or her to maintain the speed and also understand easily. Many times people ask me question, sir, speed reading, speed while reading speedily, are we able to comprehend everything? Are we able to concentrate on it? I said, yes, why not? When you drive a car speedily, above 100, don't drive, huh? Otherwise it will uh, cause a accident. So when you drive a car which is above 100 speed, at that time, everyone in the car is concentrating, is just watching. No one is relaxed. So that is there. In the same way, when you read speedily, so that concentration automatically comes. Maybe some may differ in that, but I feel that reading speedily will actually give you a lot of benefits. While reading, we flick backwards and forward over the text. Why these things are there? Because many times what happens, to get the meaning of earlier word or sentence, our eyes flicks, and that is actually a, we can say, normal way, or it's not a kind of practice. It happens every time. Here also, when I am watching at the screen, my eyes are actually on everything, all the words on the screen. Same is there, but we focus on that particular word which we try to read. We'll go to the next slide. What should we read? Now, this is always a question asked to the teachers. Students come in large numbers and they ask, sir, tell us what should we read, when should we read, and what particular text we should read. Francis Bacon's quote you know very well. So few books are there that should be chewed and digested. in morning time, we should read whatever is related to our profession, to our work, to our business. Being teachers, we should try to read books which we are going to teach. For example, our course books or the teaching pedagogies or books related to our teaching methods that we should try to read so that our teaching skills will be sharpened. When we enter into the class, surely if we read books on teaching or sharpening our teaching skills, we will be really perfect in the classroom. Our teaching will be effective. At the afternoon time, where we have less work to do, we should read books that gives us pleasure, fiction, stories, plays, etc. In lockdown period, surely it will be beneficial because we have a lot of time. You can take morning time, afternoon time, and even evening and bedtime. But when you have a noon shift in afternoon time, if you try to read fiction, stories, and all that, your principal will surely scold you. So avoid that. But surely in free time you can read. Evening and bedtime, tell your students read motivational, inspirational books, biographies, autobiographies. The reason is very interesting one. Means you may feel a little bit weird that when children or students when they sleep, they will try to see the dreams or they will dream all these things which they have read during the bedtime. So they should do this. I always feel that reading biographies in the bedtime or in the evening is very beneficial for us. So please try to follow all these things and tell your students. Yes, this is always troubling or tormenting all our teachers that sir, we don't find time to read. Our students always complain. They have a lot of time in the world, but still they say that we don't have time. So when and where we should find time? So this statement we should actually get rid of it. We should find time. No one will give you time. No one will say that this 1 hour you can have for reading, and if at all we have, still we don't use it. Recently I read a WhatsApp statement. It's a very interesting one. Many statements are there or posts are there. This particular post I was actually really, we can say, it didn't actually it was very interesting one that I will surely tell you. uh, if you are unable to read anything, do some creative thing, anything, or try to upgrade and update yourself during the lockdown period, then it's not problem with others. It's a problem with you. You are not organized, you are not disciplined. So this is a very good golden opportunity for us that in lockdown period we can do several things, and Elia has provided such a beautiful platform so that every teacher can take help of that. Robin Sharma, you know, motivational speaker, he always tells that whenever you travel, whenever you go to any place, carry a book with you. Why? You can read a page, you can read a paragraph, you can read a sentence or even the letter. Anything that you read is beneficial to you. Something extra, something different you are getting. So always carry a book with you. Nowadays, mobiles are there, different facilities, e-gadgets are there that you can use for reading also. Now, the objectives to develop this competency. First of all, we should know what is the purpose of this particular reading activity. We should know the purpose. What happens? We read without purpose. Our students are not told exactly what is the purpose. We should tell them whether you are reading for information, for pleasure, for knowledge. Unless they understand it, it's of no use. So that particular thing should be told to the students. We should also try to tell them that unless you comprehend anything, it's very difficult for you. Whatever you have read, you should be able to comprehend, and when you comprehend it, then you will be able to appreciate it. Unless you comprehend, appreciation can't take place. Then comes the creativity and innovations. If you have a good idea, use it. It was Michael Dell's statement. And the same thing, if you have good idea, and from where you will get good ideas, it will you will get only from books. So whatever innovations you have to do, whatever creative things you have to do, it only can be provided from books. So when you read, you will get different ideas, creative ideas. It will inspire you, it will motivate you. So that objective should be there. That read something which will motivate you. It will bring an all-round development in you, change in attitude and behavior. So many books have changed the lives of many people. Mahatma Gandhi's life was changed by the book written by John Ruskin, Unto This Last. So he read that book and he was totally changed. From a lawyer to Mahatma, from ordinary to extraordinary, his journey is really incredible. It was only due to book. Many people have been influenced by books that I have dealt in later slides. Developing the habit of reading. This is also the main objective, that unless you develop a habit, how habit can be developed? This is also a question. And teachers have to tell, unless you develop a habit. For example, when most of the students, they can swim, but some are there they can't swim. So if you tell a student who can't swim, just try to enter into the water, he'll say, no, 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 I can't enter, I'm afraid of water and all that. Same is the situation with the swimmers also. In the beginning, they too were afraid of water. But when they entered into the water, and slowly when they started learning the skills, and when it became a habit, now they can sleep on the water also. They can do different yogasans also on the water. So this is the benefit of habit. So we have to develop this habit among the students. Critical thinking skills can be developed, that sure HOTS are there. Some questions or activities which are on HOTS, that is the higher order thinking skills in our course book. Surely, unless reading is there, this particular activity can't be solved by the students. And all the icebreaker type activities are there. These activities depends on the reading culture of the students. You know, my professor you always used to tell, you want to know about a college or institution, just visit the staff room and listen to the discussions. You will come to know the standard of the teachers over there. If the teachers are talking on books and different innovative ideas, surely that institution or that school or college is of high class. But if the discussion is not at all healthy one, then we all know how the colleges, though the building is very big, but the mindset of the teachers is totally different. So developing all the skills is also an objective of reading. And this statement of Margaret Fuller, today a reader, tomorrow a leader. This we should always keep in mind, that if you are a reader today, you can surely become a leader tomorrow. So these are the areas of development where the students lag, or where they are lagging behind, that we should actually know very well. While reading, they have a kind of fear in them. What type of fear is there? Or they do not have interest to read. Even in oral examination also, I have seen, when I tell them to read, very few students are actually interested to read. But when they are not interested, I tell them you won't get marks. At that time they read, somehow they read, and they complete the given task. But why this kind of fear is there, or lack of interest is there, or why they remain absent when you tell them that tomorrow we will have a reading class, everyone will read, they remain absent? Many reasons are there. First reason is that they are not competent. That's why developing competency is there. Second, that they feel insulted if they are punished or scolded in front of others. Third, they do not have any kind of practice. They do not have any kind of preparation. And this practice and preparation is not done by strict rules and regulations that unless you read 1 or 5 pages, you won't be admitted in the class. No, you can't do that. You have to create such kind of habit in them through love and affection. You should tell them, no, no, this is very essential. The purpose of reading will give you better future. You will become better person in your life. Then while reading also, you find many students mispronounce a word, or the problem of intonations or giving proper stress, or their tone many times is very faulty. There are many problems regarding that. Regarding pronunciation, that phonemes play a very crucial role. You tell them that there are consonants, there are vowels in every word, in every sentence you will find these things. Just try to split that particular word, and then you can pronounce that particular word properly. Nowadays we have talking dictionaries, we have a lot of e-facilities. You can take help of that also. And the areas where again the falter is that comprehension. They don't read properly, or they read but they can't understand. Many times they can't read, so there is no problem of understanding. They can't read and they can't understand also. So these things are there. Regarding their speed, I think there is a lot of debate on speed reading. Some people say that if you read speedily, you may forget, you may skip some lines, you may skip some words, you may take a long jump. All these things, many teachers and many people say. But one thing you have to keep in mind: a proper and healthy speed you have to maintain. Some common patterns of difficulties or problems you should surely come to know. That is SWRD, specific word reading difficulty. Many students have problem regarding specific words when they read. For example, in 11th we had that particular lesson in old course book, not in the new one. Old course book, that is the gift of Magi, and the students, they always pronounced it gift of Maggie. And I was actually searching for Maggie. Where is Maggie and who has brought that gift? So, and later on, Maggie was banned also. So I told now the lesson is over and the Maggie is also banned. The second one is MRD, mixed reading difficulties. Here, the students have difficulty in decoding a particular word and also comprehending whatever they have read. So here two kinds of difficulties are there. And the last one, that is SRCD, is specific reading comprehension difficulty. Means here they are able to decode a particular word. Decode means they are able to read that particular word, even the sentence, but they are unable to comprehend it, understand it. In examination, many a times I tell students to read twice, thrice. Otherwise, whatever question or instructions are given, they are unable to understand it, and they hurriedly write the answers. Sometimes it is asked, find out the synonyms from the extract, and they hurriedly read it, find out the synonyms, find out the antonyms, and what they do, they write the antonyms that they know, and that actually makes a very big mistake. That is the blunder they do. So here, one example I have given: the slow readers, those who are slow readers, they read from 80 to 100 words per minute. Medium readers, they read 250 to 400 words, and fast readers, actually this stage, we are also trying to reach that particular stage or category. 500 to 800 was very difficult, but Annie Jones, that lady, she read 941 pages Harry Potter's novel in just 47 minutes. So very difficult for us to understand how she was able to read it. And Bill Gates, he reads 50 books in a month. This is also a very interesting one. 1 minute, we'll go. Yes. Now, how to identify the weak learners or the struggling readers? So what you can do, just take day-to-day classroom reading. In large classes, I have given you the formula or trick that you can use, but in small classes it is possible. Tell students in advance that tomorrow we will have a reading session, and in that session, first lesson or second lesson you have to read it, and students will come prepared. If they come prepared, surely their reading will be good one, and you can easily find that some students are still lagging, and others who are able to read, that means they are progressing very well. You can conduct some reading test. What are the reading tests you can conduct in the classroom? Tell them to read a page, a paragraph, or even you can tell them to read a sentence. How they will read that sentence, a page, or a paragraph, that you can note it down, the mistakes or whatever mistakes of pronunciation they have done, or whatever problems they have, that you can note it down. You can organize reading competitions in the classroom. Many types of competition you can organize. For example, some competitions like reading a page, paragraph, or even an article of the newspaper. You can tell, read a poem, read some dialogues, that you can have, or give some sentences and jumble those words, and give them. When they read the missing words, they have to find it out. Surely they can find it out. Or we can have some quiz type competitions also. Some reading games you can play in the classroom, and those games are also available. Talking, interacting, and sharing. This is very important. Here, what happens when you talk with a student regarding his difficulties, regarding his problems, he come out wholeheartedly. He tells everything that, sir, regarding English, I have a lot of difficulties. I can read Marathi and Hindi very well, but in English, sir, I can't do that. So that you can do. You have to calculate the reading speed, words per minute, number of words read in a minute. If you calculate it, you can easily understand. First, you do this particular test on yourself, and then you take test of students. These are some. Uh, this is some information. Up to third, the word per minute should be 60 to 90. In 12th, 190 to 250. Common man, mostly he reads 200 to 250 words per minute. Howard Berg, US fellow, his name is carved in Guinness Book of World Record. He can read 25,000 words in 1 minute. Actually, I searched when I came to know about this person. I searched on internet at every places whether it is fake news or not. Everywhere it is mentioned 25,000 words means actually 5,000 words article, research article, I used to send to different magazines. So 5 articles he could read in a minute. So very surprising one. He could write 100 words in a minute. So this is also very interesting one, how he can write. We have to take his guidance. Yes. Something, the screen is hanging. 1 minute. Yeah. So how to develop the competency of students? These are some methods which you all know very well. Earlier, when we were in schools, mostly in primary classes, there the alphabetic method was taught to us, how to read a particular word. So BOOK. So in this way, we used to pronounce that particular word. Then that phonic method came into existence where sounds of words were taught to us. Tin, win, kin, ran, can. In this way, these words actually that sound became familiar to us, and we started reading such kinds of words very easily. That phonemes is plays also very important role when we come to know that every word has a consonant and vowel, and we should split the word, and we can easily pronounce that particular word easily. Then the word method, that is bad cat, you have to pronounce that particular word as a single unit. Then came the phrase method. Here, group of words, or we can say chunk of words, or we can say unit of words, some 4 to 5 words which we can take in our eye span, that we can use. Then came the sentence method. In this sentence method, a complete sentence was actually given to us, and we read that particular sentence in a single stroke. A cat on the mat saw a fat dog, or once upon a time there was a king, he ruled a kingdom. These particular stories, starting sentence, we were easily able to read them. And for developing these stories, or developing these competencies, story method was actually used during our school days, and now also we are using them. Yes. Now just we'll go through the roles of teachers. The first role is he should be a good teacher, a reader. So ideal reader should be every teacher. He should have all the skills to read properly, correctly. I think somewhere, 1 minute. Uh, I will share the screen again. Sorry, 1 minute. Just I am trying to share the screen. Somewhere I have missed out. Yes, sir. Are you able to see the screen?
This is the whiteboard.
Whiteboard. Somewhere it is missing. I'm
You
trying.
want the slides, sir?
Yes, I'm on the slide, but I don't know. Return to the thing is.
Wait, sir.
1 minute.
I'm sharing the slide.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay. You tell me next and I will move.
Yeah. So the teacher's role is very important. He should be a good reader, and he should always try to help the students to improve their reading skills. He should be able to provide them reading material. He should diagnose their reading difficulties, motivate and encourage, facilitator, techno savvy. All these things are very important. He should be a helper, a manager. He should not be like a person who is trying to save a drowning person by throwing both the ends of the ropes. That he shouldn't do. So he should help them wholeheartedly. And what is the role of students? They should take active participation. They should have positive outlook. Means if they are not interested, then the whole process is of no use. Then they should try to be techno savvy. All new technological help is available in the market, or we can say online, it is available. You can make use of it. And also they can make use of different facilities also provided by the teacher. They should read and read. You know, Shashi Tharoor, man of words, he was asked by students when he visited a particular college, and their students asked him, we want to become like you. Tell us how you were able to build your vocabulary. He said only one word is enough for you, that is read. Read and read. So even the last paragraph of Anant Pai, so, audience with Anant Pai, they're also same. Reading is always helpful for everyone. Next one, sir. Yes. So some simple reading techniques, just I will like to share with you, that earlier we have discussed. Again, it's a kind of repetition. You have to read in chunks and all that. You have to keep appropriate distance when you when you are reading. The book should not be close to your eyes, otherwise it will give a lot of strain. It should not be too far away, unable. It will become difficult for you to see or read. You should focus on that particular thing. Means you should focus and concentrate whatever you are reading. One thing is there, when important unimportant part is there, you can just skip it or read it quickly. But when important part is there, read it minutely. Try to connect with whatever things you have read with visuals. Actually, when you read novels, you try to visualize all the events and happenings in the novel. Same thing you can do. First, read the intro, preface, or last paragraph or page of a book, and then you get the overview. You start developing interest in whatever the reading material is. So your reading speed develops, you become an effective reader. So that you can do. For better comprehension, you ask yourself some questions. What I have read, what is there, which different things are there, how, when, where, what. These questions, if you ask, you can comprehend very well. And regarding one thing, reading, you should always keep in mind that different genres have different speed. You can read novels speedily, but regarding technical books, it's you have to read it very slowly. Legal document also, you have to read it very slowly. Next one, sir. What classroom practices we can have in pre-reading? What we can do? So there, first, what some preparation we have to do at home. We have to go through whatever things we have to do tomorrow, that is read the text properly. Tell also the students to read the text. Provide them some reading material. Tell them to find the difficult words or the confusing words in that, some phrases. So after your preparation and their preparation, you can easily watch that the lesson or the reading session is really successful one. Yes, when you read, while reading, you have to keep in mind different things. For example, you have to take care of your pronunciation and also the student's pronunciation. When you have to pronounce a particular word, check in Talking Dictionary, check in different apps. You will find the correct pronunciation. Yes, American and British pronunciation differs, but you have to take the received pronunciation, the pronunciation which is near to correctness. Try to use that. Then you should provide the meaning of words, some contextual hidden meaning between the lines meaning while you are teaching, so that they can comprehend the text easily. After reading the text, now the activity starts. You have to tell students to read. Mostly in large classrooms, and to complete the syllabus, it becomes difficult for us to make every student read. But you can give opportunity to every student in every class or every period, so that everyone can read properly, they can comprehend, they can also create interest. If such sessions are there, many a times in colleges, students tell that no one, actually, no one or no teacher takes reading sessions. So if you do that, surely they will be interested. Next one, sir. Yes, for evaluating the competency, what exactly we have to do? Some reading programs we have to arrange in the class. For example, to find a letter or a particular letter. You know that film Three Idiots. Amir Khan wrote something on the blackboard, and all the class, including the professor also, Viru, he also started finding that particular word. And in the end, he said that these are the names of my friends. Don't do that, but give them some words, give them some phrases, give them some particular facts, and tell them to find. Surely that will help them. They will find, and that will surely develop their reading. You have to find how much knowledge they have acquired regarding their phonemic awareness, also how they pronounce a particular word, how they decode, and regarding their fluency. We always talk of speaking fluently, but reading fluently is also a concept that we should develop. Comprehension is very important. We have to check how much they have comprehended. All these things actually make the reading class a successful one. So we have to find their confidence, their positive attitude on all that, and then we can take them from the journey of an avid reader to vivid reader. Some different readers I have just mentioned, who is avid reader, who is voracious reader, you all know very well. Struggling readers are those readers who actually are unable to decode, unable to pronounce particular words, and also comprehend. They are very at basic level, actually, you can say. But the advanced and vivid readers, they can comprehend, they are fluent, they are good thinkers, they have clear ideas, they comprehend very well, they are creative and innovative. So all these things are there. The next slide. Yes. So exactly how you are going to deal with the extract. If you deal in this way, surely in the examination also they will be benefited. This is a kind of activity you can do in the classroom. When you read an extract in an ideal way, first give them the general meaning, the hidden meaning. When you read at that time itself, in this particular sentence, these are the words where you may find problem. So these are the meanings. This is the general meaning. This is the hidden meaning. Between the lines, you tell them. Some facts you have to tell. So these are the facts in the extract. And then the overall understanding of the extract you have to tell them, or at least you have to take out from them how the students infer and interpret that particular paragraph or extract, and also how they relate to their personal life. This is the personal response type activity. Which grammar items actually you find in that particular extract, even the different vocabulary items also. That also you have to tell them while you are reading. What message is provided or what message is given in the extract, that also you have to share in the class. And different types of sentences also you have to mention, whether imperative sentences there or interrogatory or exclamatory, that also simple, complex, those sentences also you have to tell. And the most important thing is how you bring change in their life. So that extract, how does it bring change? So that also you have to tell. Many extracts are such extracts where you can easily find changes in the uh, that can bring changes in the lives of students. So, and remembering the gist, that is also very important. Next slide, sir. So this supplementary support you can provide to students other than the course book. Just providing books, just providing different material. These are the e-support material that also you can take benefit. Yes, just teachers can go through the slides. This is the Norman Lewis, we can say a father figure in reading techniques. He has given some different techniques. Read more and for longer period of time in one sitting. You should be able to read a particular, we can say 5 pages, 10 pages, 15 pages. That you should be able to. If you are able to complete a novel, then or a book, it's well and good. Then it should be always done in calm, composed, confidence, and focus. You should be. That is very important. That there shouldn't be any kind of distractions while reading. Daydreaming is a problem of every reader. Then reading keenly, you should be able to read any particular literature very keenly, interest with interest, and you should be flexible while reading. Means any stuff it is provided, you should read it. Means if I say I dislike books on science or technical stuff, then it's not of no use. But you should be able to read them. At least it may not create that much interest which novels and stories can create. And interpreting more and more times means what happens when you read and when you are able to comprehend very easily, you go on interpreting the same line, same extract in different ways. There we can say that creativity has taken place. These are the books that have influenced many people. Mahatma Gandhi was influenced by Unto This Last by John Ruskin, and also The Kingdom of God is Within You by Tolstoy, J.K. Rowling, Imma by Jane Austen, Albert Einstein, A Treatise of Human Nature by David Hume, Will Smith, Will Smith, the Hollywood hero, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, Ronald Reagan, former American president, then Bill Gates, who reads 50 books in a year. He was influenced by this book, The Better Angels of Our Nature by Steven Pinker. Malala Yousafzai, she was also influenced by The Alchemist. Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, The Aeneid by Virgil. Then Lionel Messi, the autobiography of Diego Maradona. And in books that every person should read. This is my choice, maybe your choice also. Books and you feel those books are very interesting and everyone should read. Don Quixote, it's not Don Quixote, mostly we mispronounce it. And then Hamlet, mostly we have read in our MA studies and later on also. A Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens, Lord of the Rings, Little Prince, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stones, The Alchemist, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that is the Narnia series, She, the Da Vinci Code, and okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, there are certain questions. One of the questions that you have already addressed, that it was from
Yes.
Renuka Pawar. Can you suggest list of books for
Yeah.
teachers? So you already did this. There is one question from Nivedita Venki, and she says, would it be
Uh,
possible to compile a reading list which is appropriate for the 16 to 18-year age group? Something that is an eclectic mix of classic and contemporary reading. So that can be done as a group activity later on our Facebook
yeah,
page. Now let's take
yeah.
questions from our webinar room. We have
Yes.
Sajjad Khan from Akola with us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sajjad. Are you there?
Ah, hello, sir. Damodar, sir.
Hello, hello. Yes.
Hello, are you
Yes, yes, yes.
listening?
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Ah, great to see you in a good look.
Thank you. This is a lockdown effect actually.
Okay, my question is that
Ah,
uh, being a teacher, we have 40 or 35 or 45 minutes lecture.
yeah.
In that lecture, we
Yes.
have a motto to finish such kind of content that we had
Yeah.
planned ourselves. So in that, we have given chance to extraordinary student, those who read very fast or
Yeah.
nicely. So we can avoid average or poor student. And if I give a chance to an average or a poor student, they are hesitant or they are unable to speak before the mass of the students.
Yeah.
That is a fear factor or phobia there. But how can
Yeah.
a teacher can
Yes.
create an interest of those students who are unable
Yes.
to read or have a phobia of reading? So that
Yeah.
is my question.
Yes. This problem is seen everywhere. In most of the schools, institutions, there we come across such students who have that particular
Yes,
phobia. And that phobia
of
exists.
course.
Why? Because earlier in earlier classes also teachers have not taken that much interest in them. What you said earlier,
Yeah.
only the bright students they are asked to read, and other students are left out. These left outs become leftovers, and they remain
Yeah.
forever. Yes, the problem now what we have to do, we have to focus on them. We know these students, bright students, have acquired the reading competency. Now we have to focus on them, spare some time for them, give some activities to them, sit with them, try to make them read word by word, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph. If you do that, it will be helpful to them. Their parents will also be happy. Even your principal will also appreciate that all my students are good readers. So you can do in that way. Surely, why they are hesitant, why they are afraid, or the phobia is there. I told earlier that they are afraid because the teacher will scold him or her, or others will laugh at him. And the most important is that such students, they they are hesitating actually, because if they are insulted in front of girls, then they
Yeah.
feel, yes, that humiliation they can't actually keep in mind, and they take some different steps also. So that we have to take care. We have to focus on them, take some extra
Yes.
classes or periods that we can. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Next is Samir Khasmi, sir, from Kandivali.
Yeah.
Sir, please go ahead.
Yes. Yes, Samir sir. Yeah.
Samir, sir, I'm trying to unmute you, but it's not happening. Yes, sir.
Ah, yeah. Yes, Samir sir. He is not audible actually. Is there anyone other than Samir sir?
Hello, Deepak sir. Am I audible now?
Ah, yeah, yeah. Now you are audible.
So
Yes.
it was absolutely a pleasure to witness you giving you all the insight about how to inculcate students with reading.
Ah, thank you.
The question which I want to put up for my end is, n number of times in my college we have students who come from good school, good background, and they have a very good reading habit.
Yeah.
So, though they read Queen's English, it means the books which actually we prefer with the sincere literature and classics.
Yeah.
Yet they are exposed extremely with digital world and with social media throughout. So
Yes.
what happens? They read Queen's English and they speak King's English. That means they read the classic and they speak in slang language. So it becomes very difficult for me to cope up
Ah,
in between where how I can make them to speak more of Queen's English, that is the pure English, what we prefer generally.
yeah, yeah. So actually, this is a question which is related to speaking skills, but still, I will answer it from my point of view. You know that in the Radesev's session, means actually when he was introducing me, he uh, was telling that I have worked for ninth and 10th textbook. There, Mike Spaulding, I think More sir knows that person. He came from London, and the same question I asked him, whether means I have seen many students using the Yankee English, or they are using the American English, and this British English is somewhere disappeared. Means they are not using it. So what is the reason? He told that tell your students to use British English, which is the Queen's English, the correct English. American English is just like adjusting things. If you are traveling in a bus and there is a seat for two people, what British people will do, they will just accommodate two persons, not the third one. But Americans will accommodate the third person. Anything chalta hai, that pattern is actually used by those people. But what happens? Tell your students to write in Queen's English in the examination. Okay, for communication purpose, it's okay, but it's actually of no use. Even letters also they write in such English, means that I have seen many a times. They lose marks for that, but they feel comfortable with that. So that actually should be avoided. Now it's your duty to tell them to hammer them, means hammer in the sense that hammering should be there, and then surely they will try to follow the Queen's English, and it is the correct way actually, correct method. Yes.
So, can we have next question from Rosina Sayed? I have
Good evening,
unmuted
sir.
you.
Good evening, sir. It was a nice session.
Thank you, madam.
My students are good in reading, but they
Yeah.
don't understand what they read, sir. I ask in the classroom, I ask them to read a para or explain it to their partners or in the group, but lots of time goes in that.
Yeah.
So how can I improve reading and understanding in classroom itself in less timing? How can
Yeah.
I develop this competence in them, among
Yes.
them? Thank you, sir.
One thing you have said that they are good readers.
Yeah.
Yes. But they are unable to comprehend. So what happens? They are not focusing actually. Their attention is diverted somewhere. While reading, they read properly, but their focus or attention is somewhere diverted or distracted. That you have to tell many a times that when you are reading, try to focus on what you are reading. When you are able to tell them that and give them some what I told earlier, that overview of a particular book should be there. Tell them this extract or this particular page is about that particular person or that personality. Then something while reading they will start thinking about that, oh, about Narayan Murthy, about that person. Surely that will help them. So that distraction element should be somehow removed from their mind. And then surely means if they are good readers, then it's we can say half the battle is won. And now you have to just focus or make them concentrate on the reading what they do. Whether when you are reading, are they able to understand, madam?
Yeah, while reading, I explains too.
Yes, that to do. But I have seen that whatever scene extract, scene means from the textbook, if you tell them to read, they read it very easily. They can understand also it very easily. But when you provide or give them unseen extract, there the problem starts because they don't take it seriously. One. Second thing, their focus is distracted. Third thing is that we don't provide them some clues or hints. This extract is about this particular place or a particular process or personality that we have to tell. So just try to make their concentration or attention towards what they are reading. Then your problem will be surely solved.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Last question we have Pankaj Bobde sir with us. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hi, hello.
Hello, Damodar, sir.
Yes,
First
hello.
of all, thank you for such informative and enlightening session. Sir, thank you. Simple question. Sir, language do you get me, sir? In language teaching, we deals with LSRW skills. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
In language teaching, we deals with LSRW skills. But in oral test, in this you have women reading. What is the reason behind it? Do you explain? Hello, sir. There is loud reading in oral exam. Why it is omitted?
Regarding oral exam, means actually due to your robotic sound, I couldn't hear your the full question what you wanted to ask. But I think you want to just inquire whether loud reading is omitted or whether it is still there. Means that you want to ask, or
Why is it omitted, sir?
loud reading from where it is omitted? From the
From
classroom?
oral test.
No, it is not omitted. Means
Only listening and speaking is there, no, sir?
This batch actually had the benefit of this particular skill, but the makers or the designers, or even we can say the people who are working in board and whatever evaluation they have done, and they feel it is comfortable that reading is done in the classroom, that we have to just check. That is actually not in my domain to answer this particular question, that why it is omitted and why it is included. So earlier oral tests were excluded or they were taken away, and now again we have oral test over there. Yes, listening and speaking, two skills are there. This will be the first batch who will be appearing for 2021 batch actually, but the last batch had reading skills. um, I don't know exactly what the evaluation of 12th pattern will be there. So I won't tell anything or speak anything about that. I am also unaware of all these facts. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Uh,
Thank you very much, all the participants, for your questions during the live. Now let's get back to Avinash Rade, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Nadim sir. It is said that reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. And today, our speaker, Dr. Deepak Damodare, has given us so many of the chances to read. He has dealt with all the things, the exploration, the highlighting the issues, the techniques and guidelines and the processes. So on behalf of ELLE and all the participants, I would like to thank Dr. Deepak Damodare, sir, for this wonderful session. Thank you very much, sir.
thank you.
Nadim, sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. So let's call it a day here, and we wrap up this session on developing the reading competencies. See you on 10th with the next webinar. Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
all.
you, sir.